Put your hands up if you thought that that was going to be a classic match. Also put your hands up if you thought it was going to be a bit boring. Definitely. Come on, that was not a very good match at all. Let's turn some lights on in here. It really wasn't. And to be honest with you, I don't think we could have really expected anything different. Now, don't get me wrong, Liverpool created some good chances. Some pretty good chances, I'll say. Let's set this up over here. Yeah, they created some good chances. Not, you know, oh, I don't know what I'm doing with the camera there. So yeah, they created some chances. They didn't create very many though, to be honest. Nothing that was... I tell a lie. They did create chances that were good. They could have been taken, they could have been different. Solanke got in some good positions early on, could have got a good goal. At least one, anyway. If he'd have, you know, the save that Pickford made was very, very good. But if he'd gone either side of Pickford, probably would have scored. So, other than that, in terms of the lineup, I was a bit surprised to see the likes of Van Dijk, Lovren, Karius in there. Wijnaldum had a very good game, to be honest, and that's we're going to need that next week as well. Alberto Moreno was put on the injury list as well just before the match. His place on the bench was taken by Camacho, one of our youth players, and Ragnar Klavan played left back, who's been getting slated a lot online. And I got to say, Klavan was out injured. He was listed as out injured against Man City. He comes in and plays left back, and it's not his position, not a good position for him to play. I think he did his best. It's just that his best was pretty bad because it's not his position. And that's, you know what, I can take that on the chin. That's fine. What I would have done later on, instead of taking Milner off, and I realise that Milner will be, you know, hopefully will be playing in the Champions League game, the second leg as well. But instead of taking Milner off, because he's the most industrious player that we've got, what I probably would have done would be taking either of, I don't know actually, maybe take Wijnaldum off and save him a little bit because he's going to have to come in and play against Man City. Take Wijnaldum off, depending on what was the switch that they actually made. They took Milner off and brought, I think, did they bring Ox on or something like that? I'm trying to remember who our substitutes even were. Ox, Firmino, and I can't remember if there was another one. Not sure. But anyway, regardless of that, I would have took off. Sorry, no, I would have took off Klavan in that game. I would have took off Klavan, and I would have then put Milner at left back where he played all last season, and he was very good for us. Then I would have put Ox in the midfield alongside Wijnaldum and Henderson. And I think that would have worked quite well as well. Leaving Klavan on, obviously, you see what Everton were doing in the last 15 minutes or so. They were winging balls in. And you know what? Everton were literally inches, if not millimetres away from getting a goal. And it was a little bit scary in that respect, that they were very close. They were close, but no cigar. Tosun looked like a very dangerous man, but only in the last 20 minutes. They were firing balls in. Walcott was getting balls in the box as well. They took Balassi off for some reason. I thought he was actually quite dangerous, but, you know, they took Rooney off, which, you know, see you later, Shrek. I don't care. And, yeah, they threatened for like the last 20 minutes, and we were hanging on. But the chances that we had some decent chances. Mane had made some decent runs. Solanke got some good chances. But after that, it was basically a case of, we're going to ride out the 0-0 here. We're going to ride out the 0-0. And how do I feel about the 0-0? I'm okay with it. And a lot of people might be like, oh, well, it's a derby. We wanted to win the derby. I was like, I wanted to win the derby as well. Didn't want to lose it. Definitely didn't want to lose it. If I came out of that game with a 0-0 draw, and I did say in my match, I actually made a match preview and I forgot to upload it. I thought I had uploaded it, and then I went and looked, and no, I didn't. But in my prediction that I did record, I predicted that, you know, it could have been a draw, and that I would take a draw. I think I predicted a 1-0 victory, but I would take a draw. And that's what we've done. We've took a draw. I'm alright with that. That's fine. Right now we're 11 points in front of Chelsea in fifth, I should say. And I think, have they got a difficult game this weekend? I think they've got West Ham. Can be a difficult game for them. Look, we've just got to do what we can. We're now going to move on to the Champions League, which is great. But let's talk about some positives, actually. Let's talk about some big positives. Danny Ings coming in. And all right, he got in some good positions as well. Just can't find his shooting boots at the moment. Similar situation with Dominic Solanke. Still cannot. Gets in the good positions. Gets a very, very good chance. Probably the chance of the game. And he just couldn't put it in the back of the net. Pickford made a great save. But just maybe a bit more, instinctual prowess in front of the goal would have meant he could have put it either side of Pickford. Could have picked up his first goal, his first official goal for Liverpool in the senior team. And obviously, I think a big plus here, I think especially later on in the game as well, as he seemed to grow into it a little bit down that right-hand side. I'm talking about Nathaniel Clyne. It's massively positive to see him coming back into the team. It really, really is. And to put in the performance that he did put in, I thought was really, really good. He's up against Balassi, who is in my opinion, he's no mean feat to come up against. He is a dangerous player. He had one good shot that was saved very, very well by Karius. But I thought Clyne did very well. Obviously, there's things missing from his game that Trent Alexander-Arnold has. Like, Alexander-Arnold has better pace, has more pace than Clyne. But Clyne looked solid. He did look solid. He looks like a bit more of a defense, and he's built more, defensively solid right now than Trent Alexander-Arnold is. He's got a lot of development ahead of him though. Clyne, having him come back in, and he can now officially be an option at right back. And I think he did last the entire 90 minutes, I believe. Might be wrong on that one. I'm trying to remember actually. I don't have any of the match stats in front of me, but I think he lasted the whole 90 minutes, and that is a massive plus. Coming in a derby game, which could have, to be honest, it was a snooze fest. It really was a snooze fest for most of it. Apart from the last 15 minutes when Everton, normally that would be us on the edge of our seats, but honest to God, I was not on the edge of my seat whatsoever. I thought we're going to get this as a 0-0 and we move on to the Champions League. This game was more important, in my opinion, for Everton than it was for Liverpool, and I'm not putting down the derby and the importance of a derby. You never want to lose a derby. Never. Ever, ever, ever. You never want to lose one. But if you're in a good position in the league and you've got a really important competition coming up in 3 days' time, a draw will suffice. We get the point. We move on. We didn't lose. Alright, we didn't look great either. Neither did Everton. None of us, you can't polish a turd, and no one can do that in this game. We've just got to move on. Good team performance. Right now, we've got no further injuries apart from Moreno. We don't know how serious that one is yet either, but we've just got to move on. See what results come in other games that with teams that are around us. How did Tottenham get on against, I don't know who they're playing. Can't even think who they're playing right now. See how results go. Obviously, you've got the big game tonight, Man United, Man City. Massive game. Massive game. I think people are going to be more interested in that than the Merseyside derby, which 9 times out of 10 lately these days tends to be a little bit drab, a little bit dull. You might as well just go and have a nap. But anyway, that's just my opinion. It really is. It's just my opinion. I'm not negative about it whatsoever. I think it's a positive to come out of this game with most of our starting 11, pretty injury-free right now. We've got to wait and see what happens with Salah, but it looks positive. He's left out of this game because they want to make sure he's 100% for Man City. That's what it looks like. Mane looked decent today. Looked good. Firmino got on for about maybe 15-20 minutes or something like that. And he didn't really get a sniff of the ball. And that was just the way that the game went. But, again, big game. Big game against Man City midweek. Cannot wait. It's going to be good, I think. And then we've just got to see what happens tonight in the big game. Man City, Man United. Are Man City going to be Premier League champions tonight? I don't know. I think they're going to want to do it, but I don't think it'll happen. I've just got a feeling that this is either going to be a draw or maybe something worse for Man City. But you never know. Anyway, this has been more about the Merseyside derby, and to be honest with you, I kind of wish I'd gone to bed. But anyway, if you've enjoyed this video, please do drop it a like. Apologies for mis-uploading the preview. I would normally put a preview up and I had it all done and I thought I did it, but I didn't. So apologies for that one. But let me know what you think in the comments below about this game and whether you managed to stay awake for the whole thing as well. Like and subscribe if you are new around here, and I will catch you later.